BioScreen's a big company, and companies like Estee Lauder, Revlon use BioScreen. So they're a very reputable firm when it comes to skincare. Yeah, what we find is, and we don't have to take the time now to go through it, but all the key things that you'd want to have in a skincare system improved through the use of Alavida, the patch, and the day and the night formulas. So firmness, reduction in lines and wrinkles, appearance, glow, and of course, hydration improves within minutes, right? And then these were some of the scores. So we did really well with it.
I love that. You know, for those of you that are maybe learning about the Alavida Trail for the first time and hearing all this awesome information that David's sharing, there is a specific website that you can access that has a lot of information about Alavida, and that's myalavida.com. You can access before and after testimonials, information about the ingredients. It's a really great site and resource for you, as well as in the resource section of the back office. We have a section specifically for Alavida, so you can even have some of the slides that David has shared with you here. There's a PowerPoint, a tracker on progress, all sorts of great tools. But most importantly, I wanted to bring up, you've seen here David sharing some of the results of the studies that have been done. And so you can access all of those in our science section of the website, amongst all the other studies that David has provided for you to understand exactly what's happening, so we can back up everything that we're saying here. So thanks for sharing those, David. I know everyone loves to hear about the science.
You're welcome. I have a bit of a surprise. If you want to say it.
I do.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I think I know what it is.
You don't.
I don't? Okay, it's a super smart.
No, you and I are become so busy these days. We don't have a chance to talk as much as we used to, which is great. You know, we're growing, as you know. I thought I would take a minute and share this. Here we go. So there's two things with this that are really, really cool. So we have a new study that we did on our X39 patch, and in the process of doing some research, I found some new things that I thought our members would be interested in, so I wanted to share them today. But it goes to show, and this demonstrates the interaction between light and the human body. So our members, know that I believe in creation, that we were created, and that in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." So there's this very interesting history of the interaction of light with the human body. And of course, it was thought for thousands of years this was something religious, spiritual, esoteric, but now science is finding that there is indeed a physical response when the body is stimulated with light. So this was a study that I saw recently on how ultraviolet light, when it is used to stimulate the skin, will produce emission of light from the cells. So in other words, you go out in the sun and you get hit by UV light, the body responds to that by emitting different wavelengths of light. And this, of course, is part of the body's communication system. There's a really exciting potential for the use of this. In the future, we may be able to non-invasively diagnose human health with nothing more than stimulating the skin with light. Think of how radar sends out a signal and can detect where a plane is. Well, we could send out a pulse of light, hit the skin, and then by reading what wavelengths of light comes off, we could say, well, you're low in vitamin A, or you've got the COVID virus or whatever it is. So let's give you these wavelengths of light to treat that condition. This is just some more data on what are called biophotons for people that are interested in looking at it. That's the name of the field. So biophotons is a name that describes the light that is found inside the body. So this is very, very low levels of light that come from inside the cell, and they're emitted by the DNA to orchestrate thousands of different biochemical reactions. I'm going through this quickly in the interest of time. Here's another study that came up. I love this. I just wanted to show this one because it's so weird. In 1923, this Russian scientist discovered that low levels of light, ultraviolet light, were emitted from onions. So plants, animals, and humans emit light. So we're all connected. Everything in the world around us, we're all connected, and we all have this commonality that we're using light for communication. And then this was a fantastic article. I really enjoyed reading it because it goes into quite a bit of the history of light. But one of the things that I think people would find surprising is that the DNA emits ultraviolet light. And I think people would find that surprising because we often think of ultraviolet light as damaging the skin and being unhealthy. But in fact, we couldn't survive without UV light, and our bodies are even producing it. So the other surprise that I wanted to show you was that this was a report that we just received in, and we used a spectrometer and Fourier transform infrared to do this study. We have some of this equipment in our own lab, but this specific study, we decided to farm out to an independent lab. And without going through all the details, this shows independently that when you place the patch on the skin, the patch shows considerable transmission and reflection of visible and near infrared light. So there's an independent piece of equipment you put the patch into, and it shows the patch stimulates the body with light.
Okay, that is actually pretty amazing. I hope everyone understands what you just shared with us here. Like more and more evidence, more and more information that's sharing and helping us to really understand exactly what's going on with our patches, improving it, right? I mean, that's just so awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked because, we can go on a rabbit hole for the next hour. But yeah, we put huge amounts of money into clinical work as part of the discovery process, and also to validate that our patches are safe and effective.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It really is something that we can all feel secure in knowing that they are safe and effective. Not every company has the type of research and evidence that supports that. And I just thank you, David, that you've prioritized that and continue to invest in that so we can all feel safe in using these patches and sharing. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I know we're almost out of time, but I do want to ask you a few questions about placement and things like that. But I have one more testimonial I would like for us to play right before we do that. Is that all right with you, David?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go ahead and hear from Elizabeth.
Hi, my name is Betsy. I was signed up by Rick DeLuca about a year ago. Before I met Rick, I had terrible dark circles underneath my eyes, and my skin was like blotchy and kind of rough and dried out. He told me about the Alavida patches, and I'm so glad that I tried them. The first morning after using them, my skin felt so soft, and the dark circles under my eyes totally diminished over time, and people tell me that I look about 10 years younger, so that's awesome. And I really love the patches, and I'm super impressed by them.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Betsy, I didn't know your nickname. I'm so sorry about that. But thank you so much for sharing that testimonial. David, I bet you just never get tired of hearing these stories of success, do you?
Yeah, it's it's still after 20 years. I love it. And it's the best part about what we do. It's very gratifying to know that when we're working hard to develop things and build the business and support our leaders and members, that at the end of the day, we're doing something really special in the world, and we have a message of healing. And, also, we should take the time to thank our members that are on from Poland and Romania and thank them for the amazing job that they're doing to support the refugees out of Ukraine. We love you guys. We support you. We're with you. And of course, we're making donations of money and patches to support your efforts. So thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. And we do have such incredible people that are part of our community that have huge hearts for helping. And I too just want to extend a thank you to you, David, for being a safe place where we can facilitate that continuation of that generosity and through your actions and your examples. So thank you for that. It means a lot.